All right, good afternoon. We're back on the docket. There's one from this morning, James Miles. Can we address Mr. Miles at this time?
North Broward, Your Honor, I got him.
Okay, thank you.
I tried to remember. There's a lot going on this morning.
All right, Mr. Miles, you're before the court for an attempted felony murder charge. That's what's been presented. I believe the state has,
Before you make a finding, we would like to address, one, the charge that's listed, Your Honor, and present some additional evidence through
Okay.
Detective Fargnoli's testimony.
okay? Detective's gonna testify?
Yes, please.
Okay, please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth? And please, not you, Mr. Miles, the detective. And please state your name for the record.
Detective Carlo Fagnoli, Fargnoli.
All right, state.
Thank you, Your Honor. Detective Fargnoli, who are you currently employed by,
Fort Lauderdale Police Department,
and in what capacity?
Detective Violent Crimes Unit.
How long have you been a detective with the Fort Lauderdale Police Department?
7 years.
Any law enforcement experience before with the Fort Lauderdale Police Department?
With Fort Lauderdale, before Fort Lauderdale, New York City Police Department.
And any time as a detective with the NYPD?
Yes, 13 of my 20 years.
Okay. Did you effectuate an arrest of James Miles for an incident that occurred July 30th of this year at 1801 Northwest 6th Street in Fort Lauderdale?
Patrol officers made the arrest, but yes, I'm the lead detective on the case now.
So that was your involvement in the
Yes,
case?
sir.
Okay. As you heard the judge state that he's been booked for attempted felony murder. Was that the charge that it was your intent for him to be arrested for?
No, I had directed the officers to charge him with attempted murder in the first degree, and I was to follow up with them, but got caught up in something else.
Okay, Detective Fargnoli, one moment. It's mentioned in the probable cause affidavit that there was a witness to this incident. Did you have an opportunity to speak to this witness?
Yes, I did.
And could you please tell the court what this witness observed with respect to this incident?
The witness observed the suspect approach the victim and violently strike him in the head with a metal pipe, something that would be used for a fence piping.
And was this witness able to tell you approximately how many times he or she saw Mr. Miles strike the victim?
Yes, he stated that he had seen Mr. Miles strike the victim about 3 or 4 times.
And were you able to get this witness, were you able to get this person's name and identification information?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And this witness was able to identify Mr. Miles at the scene?
Yes, he was. He flagged down police and pointed out Mr. Miles to the officers.
And when police arrived at the scene, approximately how far was Mr. Miles from the incident location where the victim was struck?
Although I wasn't present, I would say within 20 yards.
And I know it's mentioned in the report, but could you just advise again, what did Mr. Miles have what, if anything, did he have in his possession?
Mr. Miles was observed by the police and captured on body cam carrying the pipe that he struck the victim with.
And I meant to ask this before, but with what certainty did the witness have and identify Mr. Miles as the person that committed this offense?
100%.
And you were advised, who advised you as far as what injury the victim suffered?
I was advised by Officer Todd Hill that fire rescue immediately believed that the victim had sustained a skull fracture.
And did you observe any blood loss at the scene?
Yes, I did.
And in your years of experience in violent crimes and as a detective, are these the type of injuries that one could potentially ultimately die from?
Absolutely, yes.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay,
Your Honor, based on the testimony, I would now ask the court to make a finding of proof evident or presumption great for first appearance purposes for attempted murder in the first degree. I would ask the court, should you make that finding, that the court not exercise discretion in setting a bond, The reason being, I believe Mr. Miles poses a significant danger to the community. Mr. Miles has previous convictions for attempted first-degree murder, second-degree murder, kidnapping, attempted robbery with a firearm or deadly weapon, robbery with a firearm or deadly weapon, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, 2 more counts of robbery with a firearm or deadly weapon. Now, these incidents did occur in 1991. He was sentenced to 27 years in Florida State Prison and was released April 10th, 2009.
Okay.
We would object to the court making a finding of proof evident presumption great or of making a finding regarding attempted first-degree murder at all. We don't know how this incident started. We don't know who this witness is. I know the detective is testifying as to what has been told to him by other people. I understand that the witness may have given a statement of some kind. That statement's not present before the court to review. The only thing before the court right now is that the witness, the unknown witness, identified Miles as the culprit. Mr. Evans, I don't believe, made an identification, if I'm not mistaken, or the victim did not make any identification. We don't know if there's any blood on these pipes. We're not even clear from the detective's testimony how many pipes there were. We don't know how much of this incident the witness actually saw, whether it was the alleged victim who started it, or whether it was something initiated through mutual combat. Based on the lack of evidence currently before the court, the only thing that's been presented, in addition to the testimony of the detective, which is hearsay testimony, is a 9-line probable cause affidavit, and that's insufficient to reach the highest standard of proof that we have in the criminal justice system, which is proof evident presumption great. So I would ask the court at this time not to make a finding of proof evident presumption great. I would ask the court to set bond for Mr. Miles. And if the court does make a finding over our objection, I would ask the court to exercise its discretion and set bond for Mr. Miles.
Your Honor, can I ask
Detective Fargnoli, did you speak with the witness?
Your Honor, I did.
Oh, okay.
And Your Honor, if I could just ask Detective Fargnoli one question
Yes.
for clarification. Detective Fargnoli, you're familiar with the information contained in the probable cause affidavit?
Yes.
If you know, who provided the information as far as what occurred in the probable cause affidavit?
The eyewitness.
Your Honor, responding to Mr. Reedy's arguments, this was information provided by a witness. As far as how it started, the witness provided testimony how it started. That the victim was sitting in a chair. There was no provocation by the victim. That Mr. Miles is the one that approached him and attacked him. That he continued his attack while he was on the ground, defenseless, Your Honor.
All right. Hearing everything and having reviewed the probable cause and the testimony of Detective Fargnoli at this time, I do make a finding of for probable cause of attempted murder in the first degree. And at this time, I am going to make a preliminary finding of proof evident presumption great. And this is without prejudice for Mr. Miles to have a bond hearing before his division judge until such time Mr. Miles will be held no bond.
And Your Honor, just in abundance of caution, we do request no contact.
And no victim contact, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Mr. Miles, go ahead, back to yourself.
All right, let's continue with Tracy Lauren.
Judge, she's present at the main jail. Stand to my right, please. I did advise her she has a court date tomorrow in front of Judge Tobin Singer.
All right, Ms. Lauren, you're before the court for driving while license suspended, and then counts 2 and 3 are a violation of felony probation. Those are no bond holds. The court does find probable cause, and you have a bond of $100 on count 1, okay? Brianna Golart.
Judge, she's present at the main. Miss Golart has advised she's going to be hiring private counsel and would ask the court for a phone order.
All right, we'll sign that order. Ms. Golart, you're before the court for 1 charge of grand theft auto, and number 2 is operating without a valid driver's license. The court does find probable cause. Does Ms. Golart have any priors?
Does pretrial have any
All right, Ms. Gallard, you have $1,000 bond on count one, okay? Tamara Moore,
Your Honor, that's North Broward. She's gonna be a med recess.
I'm not surprised to hear that.
okay, Ms. Moore is a medical
I wouldn't
reset.
even, Your Honor, I wouldn't even reset her for tomorrow. I would try to give her another day.
I think.
I would try to go for Friday.
See the booking photo?
Oh, yes, I did. I did.
I mean,
All right. So as to Ms. Moore,
Your Honor, and respectfully to the deputy, and he's probably right, but I think pursuant to criminal procedure, we could just set it for tomorrow. If she's still in medical reset, she's still in medical reset.
okay. All right. Well, we'll reset it for tomorrow. We'll see what happens, Deputy, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you.
That's all.
Megan Bronstein,
North Broward, Your Honor. Come on in.
okay? All right, Ms. Bronstein, you're before the court. Charge one is possession of buprenorphine. Number two is possession of cocaine. Number three is possession of diazepam. Number four, possession of methamphetamine. Number five, possession of oxycodone. Number six is a municipal ordinance violation. And the court does find probable cause as to those charges. Any word as to bond?
Your Honor, I'm going to ask the court to consider pretrial release for Ms. Bronstein. From my understanding, her last contact with the criminal justice system was quite some time ago. She's been a resident of Florida all of her life. She's been living in the same location for the last 6 months. Unfortunately, her husband passed away 6 months ago, so now she lives alone. I did speak with her mother. Her mother indicated that she would try to come up with the money for bond, but she didn't know how she was going to get that money together.
That's what was resolved. That's what
So
was
when
resolved.
Ms. Bronstein and I discussed the possibility of pretrial release,
Case out of Broward?
and that's what we'd be asking the court to do, and with the random drug
Before then.
testing.
Okay, State?
Just checking to see, and she has a 2015 false ownership info on a pawn item. Just checking to see if she has anything other than that. No, that's it, Judge.
All right, Ms. Bronstein, I am going to release you to pretrial supervision. That's going to include random drug testing. The deputy's going to give you the information for the pretrial office. You must report there by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. You need to be in line or show up, okay?
Okay.
If you fail to appear, a warrant will be issued for your arrest, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank
And
you.
you're gonna be subjected to random drug testing as well.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Go inside, cell one for me.
Okay, good.
All right. Bridget Nickerson.
Present at the main jail.
All right, Ms. Nickerson, you're before the court for me to let you know that you have an out-of-state felony hold. This hold is out of the state of Texas, and it is a no bond hold. You should be going before the extradition court next week. Okay?
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
good luck.
Thank you.
Leonardo Sierra.
Who's present at the main jail, Judge?
Thank you. All right, Mr. Sierra is before the court for wearing a hood or mask on the street. The court finds probable cause. Does Mr. Sierra have any criminal priors?
He does, Your Honor. I see, it looks like at least 2 cases where he went to mental health court previously. I don't know.
That was gonna be my next question.
And I don't know if Mr. Miller, if he's had communication, if he shares that opinion, I don't know. Maybe transfer to mental health court.
One moment.
Okay.
What was the question, Judge?
Has he been before the mental health court before?
He has, Judge, and if it's an option, he'd like to go back there.
Well, that's what I'm gonna do based on the allegations in this report. So
I concur, Your
I'll
Honor.
sign an order to transfer him to Judge Lerner.
And I'll text her JA letter.
Thank you. Okay. All right, Javaris Garmin.
He's present. Stand over to my right, please. Judge, he's present at the main. Mr. Garmin does not wish to resolve these cases. However, based on the nature of the charges, he'd like to fight it. He's having trouble getting bonded out. Wondering if the court would consider ROR in this case.
Well, Mr. Garmin is charged with trespassing. I do find probable cause. Let me hear from the state as to any priors.
As far as Broward, I just see a capias on a traffic prior from late last year.
Okay.
Do we have a crook?
All right, Mr. Garmin will be released to pretrial supervision. Okay.
Thank you, Judge. All right. Off you go.
All right, Selvin Portillo. Is Mr.
Judge, we
Port,
need a Spanish.
is Mr. Port, we need a Spanish interpreter?
We do, Judge. They were just
They
here. They
were.
said they'll be back in a few minutes.
All right, okay.
Sí, sí. Okay. Gracias.
Stephen Crook.
Present at the main jail, Judge.
All right, Mr. Crook is before the court for one charge of possession of cocaine. The court finds probable cause. Does Mr. Crook have any priors?
He does. He has a pending possession of cocaine. 09 burglary, restructure, and theft, 61 and a half months state prison, habitual offender. 09 burglary conveyance, 61 and a half months habitual offender. Felony theft, 08, same sentence. Cocaine, 07. Criminal mischief, 07. Grand theft auto and theft, 04. Theft, 06. Battery, 04. Just goes on from there, Judge.
Okay. All right, Mr. Crook, I'm gonna leave your bond at $1,000 at this time, okay? Kevin Downer.
Downer is present at the main, Judge. He indicated he'll be hiring private counsel.
His bond has been posted? Okay. All right, Mr. Downer, you're before the court for driving while license suspended. The court finds probable cause and I've been advised by confinement that your bond has been posted, okay? All right. Adam Dendashi.
Present at the main, Judge.
All right, Mr. Dundashi, you're before the court. Charge 1, resisting officer without violence. Number 2, fleeing with disregard for safety of persons or property. Number 3, unlawful speed. 4 and 5, traffic are also traffic infractions not for magistrate. The court does find probable cause.
Your Honor, I'm going to
Yes.
be requesting a $2,500 bond on count 2. It is a second-degree felony. He has no history, but it is a second-degree felony. He caused several vehicles to stop in the roadway to avoid collision, and also just noting the aggravating allegations that while fleeing from law enforcement, he made an obscene gesture to law enforcement and then spit on the officer's vehicle.
Okay,
We're good with that, Judge.
all right. $2,500 bond on count 2. All right. On our misdemeanor hearing docket, we only have 2 there, so Cecil Benjamin.
Paul Ryan, Judge?
Cecil Benjamin presents here.
All right, Mr. Benjamin, you're before the court. You were arrested on July 13th, so this is for a second look at his bond status.
Yes, Your Honor. One moment. See, here's the problem, Your Honor.
Yes.
Let me just see what happened with this. He had felony probations. I'm just checking to see.
Okay.
Your Honor, he's still being held no bond at a Dade County
Okay.
for violations of probation. And I understand this is just a theft. Frankly, the resisting without was dropped.
Oh, okay.
But even though this is a misdemeanor theft, but considering that he's on probation for 3 separate robberies with firearms or deadly weapons, I'd ask that the court, obviously, I imagine Mr. Reedy's gonna advise his client not to resolve it because he's on probation for those first-degree punishable by life offenses. But I would ask the court to keep the $100 bond in place.
Okay.
I would agree. I don't think it would be in Mr. Benjamin's best interest to do anything to jeopardize the.
All right, Mr.
Standing on the
Benjamin,
case.
you have a Miami-Dade no bond hold, and I believe if you understand what your attorney is saying is he's advising you not to resolve this case before the court today, because that may have an effect or will have an effect on you on the case that you're on probation for. Okay? So
Yes, ma'am.
so today I'll take no action or deny. Which words do you wish me to
We'll
use?
withdraw the motion.
All right. All right. The defense is withdrawing the motion. All right. Good luck, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Tarvali Ware.
Main jail, Judge?
All right. All right, Mr. Ware was arrested on July 26th, so this is a second look at his bond status. And how much bond does Mr. Ware have at this time?
Any chance of resolving this one, Judge?
Got a $25 bond.
25? Is there an offer?
I'm probably, I'll just give me one moment. The offer would be time served.
All right.
Hold on.
Yes, Judge.
All right, Mr. Ware, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir, you can put your hand down. And Mr. Ware, do you understand everything that has been discussed here today?
Yes, ma'am.
Is anyone forcing you to resolve your case?
No, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
Do you need any more time to speak with your attorney?
No, ma'am.
Sir, you understand you have the right to go to trial, but by taking a plea today, you are giving up that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, have you ever been treated for mental or emotional illness?
Not at this moment, no, ma'am.
All right, and sir, do you understand that if you're not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea today, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what plea do you wish to
Your
enter,
Honor?
guilty or no contest?
And I'm sorry, I would just hate to see you go through this whole colloquy and then possibly have a motion filed months down the road. You had asked him if he's ever received treatment. His response was not at this moment. I just want to make sure he understood.
Mr. Ware, have you ever received mental or emotional treatment
No, ma'am.
at any time? Not now, At any time in the past, have you ever been treated for mental or
Yes.
emotional illness?
Yes.
And is there anything about that illness today that would prevent you from making an intelligent decision?
No, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you,
And
Judge.
sir, do you understand that if you are not a U.S. citizen, that by taking a plea today, it could subject you to deportation or immigration changes?
Yes, ma'am.
What plea do you wish to enter, sir?
No contest.
I accept your no contest plea. I find that it's freely and voluntarily given. Your sentence, sir, is adjudication and time served. Good luck.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Thank you. Good to go.
Patrinda Diversi. She have Paul Ryan? No? Where's Miss Diversi? Not a contact. Nobody? Patrinda Diversi?
It's showing that she's at the Paul Ryan facility.
I thought so. All right, over at Paul Ryan, do you have Patrinda Diversi?
Your Honor,
Yes, sir. I'm looking for Patrinda Diversi.
I didn't have her on the docket. The only one I have you've seen me was Benjamin.
I have no objection.
I don't know.
I have no objection to an ROR, Your Honor. We even filed an information. I believe the case is ultimately going to be declined in the next day or so, so
All right. Is she represented by the Public Defender's Office?
she is.
Saridi? All right. The state has no objection to an ROR, so I'll sign that order.
You don't object either.
Okay. All right, thank you, Deputy. You don't need to bring her. Lawrence Fleury?
All right, ma'am.
That's North Broward, Your Honor. Come on in, Mr. Fleur.
All right, Mr. Fleury, my information says he was arrested on June 16th.
Yes, Your Honor, information has been filed.
As charged?
It was filed as a felony DUI. I don't know if it's fourth or subsequent or third within.
Okay.
The possession, bless you, the possession of cocaine has been declined, and I believe the other two counts are filed. Bless you. He also was originally ROR'd to pretrial with the GPS, so I guess they've been unable to verify.
That
So,
would seem to be the case, Judge. That's what
okay.
Mr. Fleury advised me.
So he wasn't on, so he was ROR'd on all the counts to pretrial, or was there a monetary bond plus pretrial?
No, it was, one moment, Judge Garcia Wood
Yeah?
on July 12th, ROR'd, modified the bond,
Okay.
ROR to pretrial level 2, so I
Okay.
guess if there's he'll have to seek a modification in front of Judge Garcia Wood.
Okay, all right. All right, sir, at this time, I am going to deny the motion for release. It looks like you already had some reduction before your judge, so you have to go back before her, for any other changes, okay?
So, I got a question. What charge was filed again?
Felony,
Your Honor,
The
I'll,
the deadline was yesterday. To file the charge, it was yesterday. That was the deadline.
DUI, one moment. Oh, God. Okay. DUI, felony DUI, third within 10 years, refusal to submit to breath tests, DUI testing, and no valid DL. So the bond on the felony DWS will come down also.
okay, so you heard the charges, sir? All right,
So-
you'll be before your division judge for anything further. Okay, Nicole,
So 3 charges was filed?
That's what he said.
Nicole Pelletier,
She should. I thought I was gonna get a seizure.
who has Nicole Pelletier?
I'll check.
She's also at the Paul Ryan facility.
They have no one over there. Paul Ryan, Nicole Pelletier is on my docket.
I didn't have her on my docket, ma'am. I can get her here.
I don't understand. Do we all get different dockets? This happens every day, almost. All right,
I will get her.
okay, thank you.
I can get her.
Okay,
Ms. Pelletier, you said, right?
yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Gonzalez?
Like if you,
North Broward, Your Honor. Come on in, Mr. Gonzalez.
All right, Mr. Gonzalez was arrested on June 29th. So has the information been filed?
just checking that right now, Judge. What's that? All of July, June 30th, and 30. Oh, yeah. Your Honor, I'm sorry, I'm gonna need one moment.
Okay.
Good catch. Your Honor, I'm just gonna ask that this matter be reset for tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the 33rd day. His arrest was June 29th. Just, doesn't,
Well, we're here now on this motion. The state had notice of this motion.
it has to be, I don't know, Mr. Reedy, he
Oh,
knows it
yeah,
has to be
today, what, are
33.
you saying today's the 32nd day?
Yes, that's why I'm asking for one more day.
Oh, okay.
All right, sir, you'll be before, they'll reset you for tomorrow, okay?
All right.
All right, Joseph Emmanuel?
Change
All right, I don't have, what's Mr. Emmanuel here for?
Your Honor, he's here in a Berg structure that he's not being held on anymore. The state filed declined the charge. He's already been released on that charge. He's got a ROR to pretrial with the GPS on a separate felony matter.
Guys,
Thank you, Dale. And a $50 bond on a separate MO. So this is really, the case we're hearing today is really a moot issue.
So this burglary has already been,
And it's been declined and the jail's already updated in their system. He's not being held on it.
okay. All right, so.
good to know. So, thank you.
So no
Of
action
course.
on this charge
Yeah, just,
today? Because it's
like I
already been
said,
taken care of.
he's got an MO to deal with
So
and
we'll see you in a
then
couple of days on the other
basically
one.
verifying an address.
All right, the Spanish interpreter is back, so we can address Selvin Portillo.
Thank you, Devin.
So page 7.
Which one?
Page 7, Dale.
All right,
7.
Mr. Portillo,
Oh, I'm sorry, this is Mr. Sierra.
I need Selvin Portillo.
That's him. I'm confused.
All right, Mr. Portillo, you're before the court today for charge 1 is possession of cocaine.
Señor Portillo, ha comparecido hoy es por una acusación de posesión de cocaína.
And number 2 is an immigration hold.
También tiene retención de parte de inmigración.
Is he really here only for the immigration hold today?
Who's this, Your
¿Está
Honor?
así, ha comparecido solo para la
Mr.
retención de
Portillo.
inmigración?
Has he already been magistrated on the possession?
That's what I'm checking.
O sea, tuvo primera instancia para el cargo de posesión.
Yeah, it's,
He posted $1,000 bond
Yeah.
on
Para
the,
ese cargo ya ha pagado la fianza, son $1,000.
it's showing in the system, Your Honor, that he posted his bond,
Vemos en la computadora que ya pagó la fianza.
and it would appear that the 48-hour period for immigration to pick him up has already begun.
Y parece que ya comenzó el periodo de tiempo de 48 horas para que lo pueda recoger inmigración.
all right, so Mr. Portillo, you have a no bond immigration hold?
Señor Portillo, en este momento tiene retención de parte de inmigración y no tiene posibilidad de fianza.
And Department of Homeland Security should be picking you up on that shortly.
El Departamento de Seguridad de la Nación lo va a venir a recoger muy pronto.
All right, sir.
¿Ok? Muy bien, señor.
All right.
Ok, thank you.
Is there anyone else who needed the Spanish interpreter?
¿Alguien más que necesite la ayuda del intérprete de español?
No takers at the main.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a great day.
Good. Anthony Darling,
North Broward, Your Honor.
all right, so Mr. Darling was arrested on July 7th.
Yeah, yes. Your Honor, he was arrested July 7th for possession of cocaine. There was also a court-ordered hold on a grand theft auto with a violation of pretrial. Now, that's been taken off because the state did not file charges. The concern is, Your Honor, he was arrested June 22nd on the grand theft auto. He was released July 2nd on pretrial with the GPS. It says here on the warrant that Judge Roballo signed violating him that he tampered with the GPS monitor, he rendered it inoperable, he did not remain confined to his residence at the times that were pre-approved by pretrial, and his location and activities were unknown. And the concern is he ultimately wasn't arrested again until he got arrested for a new law offense, the case before Your Honor, a possession of cocaine. I understand the grand theft auto was declined. The concern here is whether the state files a charge or not, he needed to comply with pretrial, he didn't.
Okay. All right, Mr. Darling, your bond at $1,000 will remain. I'll deny the ROR at this time, okay? All right, Gary Haberly?
Is it a reset again?
We're both done.
We did that right?
No, Haberly was a second look from yesterday, I believe, but we reset him. We told it was a medical reset again.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. So Haberly is a medical reset. Eric Redmond?
Present at the main, present and approaching judge.
All right, Mr. Redmond was arrested on July 26 on a possession of cocaine charge.
Yeah, Your Honor, my understanding is he came through the first appearance on the
It looks
possession
like
of
he got
cocaine.
pre-trial.
And my understanding is the public defender's office strenuously asked Judge Orlando to put him on a GPS monitor. He did. I've been advised by pretrial that as soon as they spoke to Mr. Redmond, he said he doesn't want to be out on a GPS monitor. So, and they have not been able to verify any residence. You may remember Mr. Redmond. He's been through here many times. This arrest was July 26th. He was also arrested July 25th on capias on MO. He pleaded out and was released on the 26th. June 19th, May 25th, May 19th, April 11th, February 28th, February 14th. That's just this year. Frankly, I think he was very generous of Judge Orlando to give him any opportunity to be able to get released without having to post.
Judge, I'm speaking with my client. Mr. Redmond has a bit of a sticky wicket. He works installing marble and granite countertops, bathrooms, that sort of thing. And he lives with his boss. His boss ankle monitor.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. Dale, could you hold on for a second? Do we know what jail that noise is coming from?
I don't know.
Because it's almost, no, I know it's not you, Dale, but it's almost impossible to hear counsel. It looks like it stopped, so.
All right,
Sorry,
okay,
Dale.
go ahead, Mr. Miller.
So I don't think the issue is not so much the level, it's the ankle monitor. So if we could have him on pre-trial without the monitor, we'd be good to go.
No, that's not gonna happen. I know Mr. Redmond's been here before. I saw him this month, not on this case. And then I was out for a couple of days and then he's back. The judge put him on pre-trial. I think he said he lives with his boss or something. If he does, I don't know what the issue is with
The
him
boss
being
won't
on.
allow the ankle monitor, Judge.
Well, I'm not gonna, no. Then either he's gonna post a bond or he's gonna be on the ankle monitor.
Can we, change the bond then from Elmo to whatever the standard bond, or whatever bond you think is appropriate?
Your Honor, I don't have a
Get rid of
problem.
pretrial altogether?
I wouldn't have a problem with that, but I would ask that the bond be set at $1,000 because, Your Honor, in addition to a lot of those recent arrests, they were also for failures to appear in court.
That's what it was before, $1,000, so I'll put it back at 1,000 and remove the pretrial supervision.
So no more pretrial?
No,
Thank you, Judge.
okay.
Hi,
Robert McCoy,
Ma'am, sorry to disturb you. This
That's the
is
main
Bowen
jail, Judge?
facility. I
This-
have Miss Pelletier here.
okay,
When ready.
all right.
Yes, ma'am.
As soon as I'm done with Mr. McCoy. All right,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. McCoy, was arrested on July 27th. So what's the status on Mr. McCoy?
He has, I believe, $2,000 bond total on these charges. He has a lengthy history. He's also out on a $5,500 bond right now from a June 17th arrest for possession of MDMA with intent to sell or deliver, possession of cannabis with intent to sell or deliver, possession of oxycodone, possession of cocaine. I'm also showing priors, possession of cocaine 07, a year and a day, possession of cannabis with intent to sell, delivery of cocaine, possession of cocaine, grand theft auto, possession of cocaine. It just goes on from there.
Oh, that's the
All right, I'm gonna deny the ROR. He has $2,000 bond. That will remain. Okay? And then Paul Ryan had Pelletier. What page was she on again?
It's a motion to release, Judge.
She was, all right, Nicole Pelletier. And she was arrested on June 28th.
She was, Your Honor. Information has been filed. It was filed yesterday, Your Honor. It was change of charge as an aggravated battery, which incidentally is the same charge that Judge Murphy found PC for at her first appearance. The issue is, here's the issue. Frankly, I don't have an objection if Mr. Reedy wants to prepare an order for the court to sign, setting the bond at $3,000. That's what it was originally set at. The issue is, I don't know that the clerk's office has processed the change of charge capias, so even if you set it back at $3,000, my understanding is once that change of charge capias processes, it's just setting it back to no bond hold for magistrate. And we're gonna be back here.
Either way.
Probably. I don't know for a fact that they have or haven't processed it. My guess is, since it's been a day, they haven't.
So if Ms. Pelletier comes back tomorrow,
The difference would be if we set it at 3,000 and she believed that she could post it before it gets processed, but she's been sitting on that $3,000 bond since June 28th, so she knows her situation better than I do, but it doesn't seem.
are you gonna be able to post that bond, ma'am?
They revoked my bond. At the moment, I don't have a bond. Because they found probable cause for the attempted murder. They gave the state 24 hours back on June 29th or 28th.
Your Honor,
So I didn't have a bond this whole time.
can I just have one moment?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I see what happened, Your Honor. It appears what happened, and I apologize, and I appreciate Ms. Pelletier being candid. Judge Murphy had the first appearance. He found PC for aggravated battery. I guess it looks like he gave the state 24 hours. They came back. The judge found for attempted murder, ordered her to be held no bond.
Okay.
That being said, and
So what has the state filed?
we have filed an aggravated battery.
Aggravated battery.
That
Okay.
being said, Your Honor, yeah, I mean, I can tell you that Judge Murphy did set a $3,000 bond. I haven't even looked at the facts, so I don't know if I would make an argument,
Although,
to keep it
the
at
only
$3,000.
problem is, even if I sign the order with the $3,000 bond, is she still gonna have to come back for that change of charge?
Okay. My thought is, and Brian, you'll tell your colleagues whatever they want, because as you've seen, Your Honor, sometimes those change of charges get processed, and it's been 2 weeks. If he wants to advise, she's being represented by Rachel Walker. In the meantime, they may want to file a motion in front of Judge Allspector.
Because if you present an order, then the state is telling me that you filed the information for aggravated battery, then I will set the bond back at $3,000 since she was being held no bond on the attempted murder charge.
Can you make a $3,000 bond?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
No.
Can you make any bond?
I have nobody to bond me out. No, sir.
And the only thing, Your Honor, is I understand Judge Murphy said a $3,000 bond. Reading the facts, I don't necessarily agree that that was an appropriate bond even at the time, frankly. So I don't have, if the public defender is going to make a request to have the court set a bond in light of the circumstances, I don't have an objection. I would ask the court, and I can print out, Your Honor, a copy of the probable cause affidavit. I would ask that there be a review of the probable cause, of the
Okay.
facts before a bond is set.
Okay. But Mr. Reedy hasn't asked for anything.
No, I know, that's why I'm saying it's all in the hypothetical.
Well, I think from
This is
what
just
I
one of
understand
those-
from Ms. Pelletier, the only thing I could ask for that might get her released would be a pretrial release.
But are you asking for the judge to consider setting a bond at this time?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't want to speak for Your Honor, but I think that's what you were trying to determine before you proceed. Your Honor, if you'd like, I could print you a copy.
Please,
to
thank
proceed.
you. Just wish there's a smoother process
You
to
and me
get us
both.
from the change of charges. Thank you. All right. Well, I wouldn't be inclined to set anything lower than 3,000 at this time, so.
And Your Honor, and
So
I
she wants to have
understand
a full bond hearing
and that's my
for her
concern.
division
just-
judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's concerning facts here.
Yep.
Even though she did apparently attempt to render aid to the victim immediately after the incident.
And frankly, and I can advise the court, Mr. Reed, that's why we did not charge attempted murder. That being said, and I'm not stating this because I know the court's aware, just for the record, allegation of stabbing the victim in the chest, he required open heart surgery as a result of his injury suffered from the stabbing. This is obviously, there was a 6-month-old present in the home at the time of this, in the child's crib. Noting for the record, I just tried to call the number I have for the alleged victim, and I didn't get an answer, Your Honor, so.
Okay. All right.
All right, then I suppose what you're going to need to do, Ms. Pelletier, and I'm going to contact your public defender to set up a bond hearing for you in front of your division judge, okay?
Okay, so there's no way I could get a bond at this moment?
You're going to have a $3,000 bond.
Is that what Your Honor is setting that?
I'll set the bond back at $3,000, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Good luck, Ms. Pelletier. Hopefully you'll
Okay,
be
thank
in
you.
court soon for a bond hearing.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, thank you, Paul Ryan. Joseph Scarvelli,
Welcome, ma'am.
North Broward.
Yes, no problem.
Mr. Scarvelli was arrested July 27th.
I think we just had his first appearance yesterday, Your Honor. I believe might have been medically reset a
It's a
few times.
medical research.
I don't need no medical. I don't need no medical. I'm fine. I don't need no medical. So I don't pay that. I don't pay no medical.
No, Judge Lee signed this probable
Oh,
cause.
okay, then it was Monday and he
So
was
it's Monday.
reset.
Could I go on pre-trial release like everybody else? I mean, they get like drug charges and felonies, so I'm on pre-trial release like everybody else.
Michelle, do you have notes?
Pre-trial release. I don't know no medical. I'm not sick. Fuck that. I don't see my mom dead, my father dead.
And Your Honor, I think part of the concern there is
My
other
father dead and
issues
my mother dead.
going
I
on.
don't play that. I shot him, remember? I went to jail. I don't play that. My family dead. I'm not no medical nothing. I want to go home
Does
and
Your Honor have the
pre-trial
report?
everybody else.
Okay.
I want to go pre-trial release like everybody else.
All right,
Seriously.
Mr. Scarvelli, I'm gonna ask,
Review my case.
I'm gonna ask you to stop talking.
There was. I believe there was. I think so. Could be wrong. Michelle, do you have notes? Okay. What'd she say?
Yeah.
You just found them?
For the court, not a problem. I got money. My family dead. My whole family dead. I got no money. Yeah, but I go to court. I pay fees and fines and
See,
everything
I see
else.
nothing on it. That's the problem.
All right,
Nothing.
based on the allegations that's before the court at this time, I'm gonna deny pretrial. The bonds that Mr. Scarvelli has will remain in place. All right, Mr. Scarvelli, you need to speak with your attorney for further action, okay? All right, Jason Willis.
Main jail.
Mr. Willis was arrested on July 27th.
Yes, Your Honor.
Looks like Mr. Willis has
His
$200 in bond.
his bond was reduced, I believe, to a total of, it was reduced from $1,850 to $200.
Yeah,
He's got a burglary from last year, theft 2017, theft 2017, dealing in stolen property, false ownership info on a pawn item 08, a year and a day state prison as a habitual offender, cocaine 07, delivery of cocaine 06, delivery of counterfeit controlled substance 03. Goes on from there, but that's the most relevant and recent.
all right. Mr. Willis had a huge bond reduction, so.
Can you take care of these?
Felonies.
Oh, felony.
They're
I see that.
felony charges, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so I'll deny the ROR at this time. And,
I think the only one we have left is Robert Shelton. I believe the other two we took care of this morning, Your Honor.
Robert Shelton,
Present at the main jail.
Discs.
and then Mr. Shelton has, looks like he also has a $100 bond,
Yes, Your Honor. His bond was reduced to $100.
from $750 to $100.
Yes, this is his third theft since in Broward since February 21st of this year. Michelle, do you have any notes on this one? In this case? No? All right. That was from earlier this year too, yeah.
All right. So what does Mr. Shelton want to do? This is a petty theft and a trespassing? His bond was already reduced to $100 2 days ago or 3 days ago, so.
The lady I work for, but
He's gonna try to find someone to do it.
Okay, all right,
Thanks.
so we'll deny
And I
that.
think that clears us at the main judge.
Thank you, yes.
Good to see you, Dale.
All right.
yeah.
Judge, there is one more matter.
There is one more where?
Actually, he's not on the docket. Gentleman's name is Abbas Nia Mohammed. And apparently he was committing a robbery and got shot by the homeowner.
So,
Well,
so where is he?
He's in the hospital, Your Honor.
He's in a hospital.
Bond was never set, but here's the issue. Information's been filed. It was aggravated battery, which was filed as presented. The Public Defender's Office has been appointed. It was recently, but they've been appointed. You know, the state's position, I know Mr. Goldberg reached out to Brian and myself to ask if this could be dealt with. The state's position is this should really, the defense should file a motion with proper notice being given to the state. This should be heard in division. Pursuant to Marcy's law, if the victim wants to be present to testify before the court, but considering it has been filed and arraignment's been held, I don't think it's no longer appropriate to
Been
be dealt with.
filed,
in this
arraignment held. I think that should go before the division judge. And defendant is not here, and then with all the other, I'm gonna deny hearing that at this time, okay? All right.
Here, I'll show you the name.
All right, I hear that there are 3 more persons at Conti, but I've gone through, who do we have?
Sets of who? I don't know.
Who do we have at Conti that we haven't heard, Deputy?
We have Melvin Jackson, Sammy Middleton, and Samuel Hernandez.
Those were, I think those were all no paperworks on the docket. They'll probably be on the docket tomorrow.
Because I don't have any paperwork for any of those. Those will all be reset at another time.
Deputy, in the future, we'll
Thank you,
see.
ma'am.
Okay.
I was just gonna give you a heads up and see
If,
NP.
if on your docket it says no paperwork on those persons,
Right.
then that means that they won't be heard. Usually,
Okay, thank you.
okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.